Hi everyone, and welcome back to our simple inventory system series. In the last episodes, we've been working on our inventory system, and this will be the last episode as we're going to make the items actually do something when we click on them in our inventory. Let's take a look at how we do this. So first of all, we need to make it so we can click on the items in our inventory window. So what I'll do is I'll go to my inventory construct function on the inventory box, and I'm just going to put this as a sequence. So on doesn't really matter which order really. Do that on then one, and on then 0, I'm going to get the player controller. And from the player controller, we're going to do set show mouse cursor to be true. And from the controller as well, we're going to set the input mode to UI only. Okay. Next up, I want to do it so this thing is removed. So on destruct, I'm basically going to undo this I've got here. So we're going to get the player controller. Set show mouse cursor. Leave it as false. And then set input mode back to game only. Okay, very simple setup there. So that will help me do that. Now, I need to be able to click on the slots and do something with those slots. So what I need to do is I need to make this item know what it needs to happen. So what I'm going to do on here is in my items folder is create a new folder in here called item effects. And in here, we create a new blueprint class, an actor, and we call it item effect. And then we can make different item effects based upon whatever we want to use. So I can right click on that, create a child, and we'll do item effect red gem, for example. And the way these effects will work is that on the item effects, we go to the blueprints graph here, go to begin play, and do whatever we need it to do. So if I wanted this thing to heal me, I can make it do apply damage to the player character and put a negative value in here. Okay, and I can make it heal me. I can do, or even make it hurt me. I can do whatever I like. Whatever logic you want to happen with the begin play, you just put it in here. Now, once we do spawn these things in, we don't want them to actually stick around and carry on going. We actually want them to be destroyed as well. So what I would recommend you do is in the parent class of BP item effect, is we go to class defaults and set the lifespan of this thing to just 1 second. So it exists for 1 second, does its thing, then goes away. And don't forget, because it's a child of it, you can override it. So this red gem item effect here, we can actually override that and keep it going in the scene for longer. This is important if we're doing things like Niagara effects or animations or something like that, where you want it to stick around for a little bit longer. And you just do that in the class defaults. But that's it. That's all we've got to do there. Next up, we need to set this to our items. So let's go to our DA item. And in the variables here, we're going to put in the effect associated to the item. So we're going to do BP effect, item effect. There you go. And I'm going to choose a class reference. And the reason why we need a class reference is because this item effect does not yet exist in the game. Therefore, you can't reference it. You have to spawn it in first. Therefore, it needs to be a class. So have that set there, compiled and saved. Then all we've got to do is assign the item. So go to red gem here, go to the effect, and I'm going to choose the red gem item effect. Like that. And then close all these down. So back on the slot then, all I need to do is that when this button is clicked on, make it spawn in the item effect. So I'm going to click on the button, go down to the bottom here, go to on clicked. And when I've on clicked here, I'm going to get the item. And I'm going to get the effect it has. So get effect. And more importantly, I want to make sure it is valid. So convert the validated get first of all. If it is valid, then we're going to do spawn actor from class. The spawn transform doesn't matter. So we're going to right click on this and just split it and leave it like that. If you want to spawn it at a particular point because it's got effects or spell like animations, whatever you want to do, you can put it in whatever location you want to do, be it a player location or whatever. But it's going to spawn this in, and we want to make sure it's always going to spawn in to ignore collisions. Once it does that, we do need to remove it from our inventory system. So we get from here, we do get player character, get component by class, choose our inventory system, and then from there do remove item, remove from inventory. There you go. And the item we're removing is referenced the item there, and the quantity will be 1. So that'll spawn in the item effect and remove it from the inventory, but it won't actually update any of the UI. And that's because the UI has already been made. You need to take to refresh the UI when the changes have happened inside the inventory system. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our actor component for the inventory system. And we'll create an event dispatcher. And we'll call it on inventory updated. And all I'm going to do on this is I'm going to call it whenever I change something in the inventory. So we've only got 2 places this can be. We go to add to inventory. I'm going to call that there. And on remove from inventory, call it there too. And that's it. That's all we need to do on here. Close that. I next want to go to my inventory box. So this is the main container for all of it. And what I want to do is on the start of my construct here is I actually want to get hold of my player character's inventory system. And I want to bind that event I just made. So over here on then 1, I've put the get player character, get component by class, and set the inventory here on then 1. I'm actually going to break that off there and move that at the start here of construct before the sequence. And don't forget the content here still needs a reference to the inventory, so that'd be just fine there. Now to make this a bit neater and a bit more usable, I'm going to take this last part here and make this thing a function. So I'm going to right click on this and collapse the function, and we'll call this build contents. I'm going to go inside that build contents, and the very first thing I'm going to do on this build contents is I'm going to clear what's ever in the scroll box that's completely empty. So do clear children from the scroll box. It's completely refreshed every single time. I now want to just bind the event on the event dispatcher on inventory. So we can take the inventory reference out to bind event on inventory updated, and then drag out and do create event and choose our build contents. And that will refresh and rebuild the contents of that inventory box as we click on items. So let's take a look at that in action. So if I go around, pick up the items, this, go to my inventory screen, click on the red gem, and you'll see it's gone down to 2. Again, go down to 1, again, go down to 0. Now, if it goes down to 0, you may want to make it so it doesn't show at all. If that's the case, when you are doing remove item on inventory system, if the value is 0, you can just remove the item. So if you can do equals to 0, and we'll plug that in here. The add here would then go to the false here. And then the true would be, we just want to take the content and remove that key. So remove the key item. Don't forget to call the inventory updated again as well. Move. So let's go back through, click on this. and off it goes. Now, the blue gem hasn't got an effect on it, so when I click on it, nothing happens. Therefore, it doesn't get destroyed. This error, by the way, only comes up because I've closed the game whilst I've got the UI open, so not a big deal. Okay, brilliant. There you go, a very simplified version of the inventory system series. Now, there are a ton of things you could do more with the inventory system, but if you're doing a very simple inventory system, this will suffice just fine. You don't need to go through the process of making it multiplayer ready, have stacking or anything like that, or movable, controllable UI. This is a very simple setup, and one that's commonly used in a lot of RPGs. So things like Skyrim, for example, it's just a list of items that you have. You don't have to worry about managing it. Now, there obviously are lots of different things you could go on to doing more with this, and maybe we'll revisit this in the future and show how to do filtering and things like that. But by all means, check out the other videos I've made on the channel and see if you can do it yourself too. There's lots of different things you could do with inventory systems, so it's a good thing to explore and see what you can do. Now, if you like this video and want to see more content from myself, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Lely, and you can support the channel from just $1 a month. That gets you access to all our videos early before anyone else, as well as lots of other benefits too. So do go ahead and check it out and support the channel. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.